I've listened to that audiobook like Enemy at the Gates like a bunch of times. It's an excellent audiobook, but you know, the fact that, you know, Rokossovsky and Yermenko and all those other generals, isn't it crazy that Zhukov was able to actually hold in Stalingrad? Because I'm gonna outline the whole. I'm gonna outline the timeline for Operation Uranus. Basically, what happened was Borgov, yes, that's what his name was. He was the former commander of the Soviet 62nd Army in the Stalingrad sector, which was in 1942. And there's one thing. There's a lot of things people don't know. Like Paulus, he became the head of the German Sixth Army after what's his name, the other guy, Richthofen or something like that. Let's look it up. Yeah, that guy. No, Reichenau. Ooh, that guy was a fucking fanatic. He was a fanatical Nazi. Like he was a fanatic. Like you know, at the beginning, like I was listening to the audiobook, and there was so many things that were crazy there. And what happened was Reichenau said that to save bullets, we should have we should put one bullet in the head of each Jew living in Stalingrad. Don't you think that's crazy? That you're gonna kill people just because they're a different like race or a different ideology? And well, it was because Hitler was the one that told them to do that. He gave the order, and Reichenau was just following it. But you don't have to follow orders. You can just rescind them. Because even like Manstein, he rescinded the commando order. He rescinded the political commissar order. Like the order was that they would just every single political commissar they found, they would just kill them. Straight up, just kill them. Just kill them. Just kill them. Just murder. Straight murder. If they captured any political commissars, murder them. That was the precedent at that time. No, this is all factual stuff that you can just look up. So I mean, I'm not doing this video because I'm trying to big them up, or I'm trying to make fun of it. No, this is just history, and it's just something that did happen. So I think people should know more about it. And Reichenau, he actually ended up dying when he was flying from. I think he was flying to East Prussia or something. No, but he died. He died in an aircraft accident. I don't know the details. And then he was succeeded by von Paulus, General von Paulus. Paulus was a very timid general. Very timid general. Because when he had the opportunity to actually break out of the Kessel, whatever you want to call it, out of Stalingrad and try to link up with Manstein, and General Hoth's Fourth Panzer Army, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And also like Manstein didn't give the code name Winter Storm or something like that, or Icebreaker. I think it was called Icebreaker. And he didn't give the code name, and then Paulus didn't go ahead with it. But I think in hindsight we can always say whatever we want to say. Oh, he should have done this. Oh, he should have done that. But in reality, everybody was telling him the same thing. Even his advisors were saying, "Okay, you should have broken out. Like you should have broken out of this place. Like you should break out." But analyzing it a lot and looking into it, it's like if the German Sixth Army broke out and tried to meet up with the armies that were trying to break them out, the Fourth Panzer Army and whatever, what would have happened is there was a greater danger enveloping on the port city of Rostov, which meant that the entire army group that was in the Caucasus would get trapped and encircled because 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 Rostov is the key to the south. Rostov is the key to the Caucasus. You need Rostov. You need Rostov. Without Rostov, you're fucked. You're fucked because without Rostov, you're not going to be able to supply your army group in the south. There's no supply, and without ammunition, without supplies, without food, you can't sustain an entire army group without food and supplies. They can't live off the land because there's nothing there. It's Caucasus Mountains, which is Dagestan, which is where Khabib is from. Shout out to Khabib, one of the greatest lightweights of all time. But crazy stuff, and there's so many different things that happen. And there was a time when there was this the quartermaster of the German Sixth Army. He requisitioned. What happened was after the encirclement, which was army group. Well, Yarmolenko was commanding the southern front of the Stalingrad sector, and who was commanding the northern front of the Stalingrad sector? I believe that was Rokossovsky. No, it wasn't. It was not Rokossovsky. No, it wasn't Rokossovsky. It was what's that guy named? Zhukov? Zhukov was the brainchild of Operation Uranus. Who was Yarmolenko was the southern, 100%. And the northern, I think, was Zhukov. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comment section. I mean, I don't have all the facts right now, but which is probably why people are going to watch this video. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm saying here that are factual, but yeah, interesting, just very interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess people will say, "Oh, why are you living in the past? Why do you keep getting interested in this?" I mean, it's an interesting time in history that I like reading about. It's a hobby of mine. I mean, people have hobbies, right? Like people fucking skateboard. Oh, why are you skateboarding? You're wasting your fucking time. Or why are you reading this book? Oh, you're wasting your fucking time. Or you're living in the past. Like, I mean, I just find it interesting. That's it. I think that we're doomed to repeat history if we don't learn from it too. So that's another thing. But damn, man, like the entire army group, like they would have been trapped. And actually, Rokossovsky was for the plan, but Stavka didn't go through with it. Because they felt that it was too ambitious. It wasn't a plan that probably, looking back at it, in hindsight, I think obviously we can always say this, but the reason why they couldn't capture Rostov was mostly because the tank division that they needed to attack Rostov and take it were tied up trying to liquidate the German Sixth Army in Stalingrad. So, the fact that Zhukov was able to maintain that line and hold in spite of it all, like crazy. Absolutely insane. Like that's kind of like a miracle. But there were times when he completely ran out of ammunition, and the river Volga, which is situated right next to Stalingrad. That was the lifeline. That was a lifeline for the Russians in Stalingrad because they would send troops, they would send supplies, ammunition, food, fuel, whatever they needed. And the whole plan, Yarmolenko, the whole plan and the whole point and the entire time, Zhukov didn't know that there was going to be a grand offensive. He only knew he had to hold Stalingrad. He couldn't know. There were times when he even said to Yarmolenko, "Oh, I want some of my staff members to go across the far side of the river Volga for safety." Yarmolenko denied it because, you see, I understand why he denied it. It makes a lot of sense. Because if you allow if you allow Churykov's staff members to go across the river Volga, that's gonna make their defensive the resistance, it's gonna plummet because, why should he be allowed to go and not me? Like, and you, if you're part of that army, the 62nd Army, you you cannot leave and go across the Volga. Like, while everyone else around you is sacrificing their life, thousands of men are dying around you that are subordinates of you, and you're gonna seek shelter. I get it. Like, some people are definitely indispensable. They're more important than others. That's just a fact. Like, I think Churukov is obviously more important than the fucking average infantry soldier in the fucking Red Army, right? Of course. That's just how it works. I understand that. But yeah, that's just how it is. It's not fair, but it's, that's life. Life's not fair. Life's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And Pavlov's house, dude. That house, the fact that Pavlov was able to actually hold on to Pavlov, the fact that he was even able to hold that house was amazing. It was given the code name Lighthouse by Dmitry. I don't know his name. I forgot. But that peasant, he was a peasant. He was a fucking peasant, dude. And he was able to hold that house. He had an anti-tank gun there and some machine guns. And a tunnel. There was an underground tunnel between the Pavlov's house and there was like so many fortifications. There was underground tunnel passages where they would send supplies and ammunition through. Because what would happen is Churikov was actually a master of street warfare. He knew that the Germans didn't like that. They did not like fighting in house-to-house combat. They did not like fighting their enemy up close. He wanted to hug the enemy. Because, very smart, because that would mitigate and take away their power. Just like in a boxing match when you're fighting someone. The way you take away their power is you come forward and you pressure. And you stick to them like glue, because if you stay on the outside, they can attack you with the full extension of their punches. And now how can I, quantify that with what I'm talking about? How does that link in? Now, it links in, hear me out. It links in because the Germans had superior firepower. They had better artillery. Not better artillery, but superior firepower. They had air support, Stuka dive bombers. They had more firepower. Churikov knew he wasn't going to be able to match the Germans strength for strength. So what he would do is he would take an entire division and he would literally set up 20, 30 squads, and they would occupy buildings, this building, that building, that building, that building, that building. And the Germans would have to take each building individually. They have to attack frontally because they can't do anything. There's not, like, they had to attack frontally at that point because they have to take Stalingrad. Encircling the city wasn't really a consideration. They didn't have the strength to encircle the city. So, yeah. And the fact, the Germans took the Commissar's house too, but the Red House, like so many different places. But I mean, the fact that the Russians were able to hold out, like, it's crazy, Crazy. Miracles happen. Crazy. Not a miracle. No, but the fact that the 62nd Army was able to hold, there was some close calls, man. If Churikov zigged instead of zagging, that dude would have died. Like, he'd be dead. Like, if you zig instead of zag, if you make one mistake, you're gone. It's over. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You're done. You're done. In a high pressure situation like that, one mistake, you're gone. You're done. You're done. You're done. The fact that, it kind of speaks to his character for sure, because several doctors were telling him to go across the Volga and go to the far side to get some rest because, he did have some health problems. Like, he was getting rashes, stress, so much stress, probably because, people are dying all around you, and just crazy shells fucking flying everywhere, rats. They had to eat rats. The German Sixth Army was eating rats and dead horses at some point. Rats and dead horses. Yeah, mice, rats, dead horses. Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna do whatever you can to survive, man. Like, yeah, of course. That's human nature at its lowest, definitely for sure. Man, the Germans were the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. The worst the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. If you really look into the war crimes, whew, 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 they are the worst of the worst of the worst. Terrible people. Terrible people. Just disgusting. I mean, now they're thriving. They're very, like, Germany's thriving now. They're obviously not, most of them are not Nazis, but yeah, yeah, you know, yeah. I mean, yeah, they deserve, everything they have now. But they're nasty people, man. Disgusting, disgusting. I don't know, like, just nasty. Holy fuck, man. Dude, look into what they did in Russia when they were there. Why do you think the German Sixth Army was fighting so hard? Why do you think they fucking held out for so long? Because they knew what they did. They knew that what they did in Russia was unforgivable, unspeakable stuff. They would fucking get babies, hold them from the leg, and smash them in the concrete, dude. Seriously. They would do stuff like that. And if you watch Come and See, it's, it's what it was. It's not, it's really no, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I think. I mean, most people would say, "Oh, you're crazy. You find this stuff interesting." This interesting stuff. No, it is interesting. I think it's an interesting time. Disgusting, but interesting. Disgusting and despicable, but interesting still. Doesn't mean I condone it. I don't condone it. I think it's the most terrible thing you could do. It's still probably one of the worst things you could do ever, Burning entire villages to the ground, fucking. I'm laughing because it's so surreal. Like, it's not, like, there's no way you can even justify it. Like, how can you there's nothing you can do to justify that. Nothing. It's just, yeah. But, that's pretty much, that's, what have I missed? What have I missed? Oh yes, they closed the ring at the bridge at Kalach. It's called Kalach. That's what happened when Operation Uranus. They met two focal points, Kalach, and then they encircled the German Sixth Army. Northern Front, Southern Front. What they did was they targeted the puppet armies of the Axis, which is the Italians, the Romanians, the Hungarians. Those guys didn't even have anti-tank weapons. They didn't even have anti-tank. No anti-tanks. So of course, they're going to break through. Of course they're going to break through, Of course they're going to break through. And the Russians use Maskirovka, very well, which is deception. You have to use deception in war. Or even in a fight. When you're fighting someone in a martial arts fight, you use deception and tricks to try and outsmart your opponent. That's just how that's good. That's what you should do. Deceive him. I think I touched on everything, really. What else have I not touched on? Pretty much everything. But yeah, hopefully someone out there enjoyed this fucking video. I don't know, but hopefully someone out there enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you want to know more, just listen to Enemy at the Gates audiobook. You can also listen to Stalingrad by Anthony Beaver, but I would recommend Enemy at the Gates first. Then you should also listen to World War II. Anthony Beaver does like a comprehensive, full review and like a full timeline of events. He gives you like a full comprehensive idea. He gives you a full comprehensive idea of how World War II was conceived, why it happened, what led up to the reasons of why it happened, all the integral little reasons, and all the things that people don't know. A lot of people don't know a lot of this stuff. The thing is, I think this would have worked. I think the Soviets should have let Manstein link up with the German Sixth Army in Stalingrad. Let them link up. And then when you let them link up, they're in Stalingrad, which means you can actually use that time to take Rostov. That would work because you're drawing them out you're drawing them out more. And for them to take Stalingrad, they would have to deplete their flanks. And Operation Little Saturn was brilliant. Operation Saturn was to take Rostov. Operation Little Saturn was to attack the puppet armies in the flanks. The Romanians, the Hungarians, the Italians. I already mentioned that, but man, and then towards the end, when they get captured, you hear about tales of cannibalism because they want to survive, man. Like, it's the human instinct to live. We all want to live. We all want to continue. Nobody wants to die. And we all want to live. And it's the human instinct to survive. It's the human will to survive, really. But yeah, that's what I recommend if you guys are interested in stuff like this. If not, why are you even watching this video? Anyways, man, I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. Hopefully you guys like the video. Hopefully. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm out. Peace.